What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I chose to shoot a quick video about why I simply chose to invest in real estate. It's no secret I'm a real estate investor, and there's a lot of different investments out there, from stocks, crypto, you name it. There's all things you can invest in. You can invest in another business, yourself. Forex is out there. Then of course you have real estate, and so I think there's a lot of turmoil right now in the stock market, a lot of uncertainty with whether or not we're going into a bear market. Crypto, you see all the thumbnails out there. It's crypto winter. Bitcoin is down. At the time of this video, I think it was down like less than 20,000, and somewhere hovering around the area from a high of probably 6 months ago of like 69,000. So there's a lot you can invest in. I always say you always want to get whatever you have the most knowledge in. That's where you want to invest. So for me, it was diving into real estate, and and I had the same decision to make. It was like, okay, I had a lot of friends that like, hey, you need to invest in index funds, you need to invest in stocks, you need to be picking stocks. The market's going up. Then the market crashed in 08, 09. It came back up, kind of raging beast after that. But for me, it was like, okay, I didn't have any knowledge. No one in my family invested in stocks, so I didn't know about stocks. But after going through the experience of buying my first house using my VA loan, and paying a few $100s less than what I had to pay in rent, I owned the place, and I got money back at close. I didn't have to pay any money out of pocket. I was like, okay, real estate, I can see this. And I saw how many people, the Donald Trumps of the world, how many people had got rich off of real estate and built massive wealth. And today, right now, over the last 2 centuries, real estate has produced the most millionaires than any other asset class. And I think it's just a testament of people always need somewhere to stay, and there's always going to be a discount if you're able to find good deals. Buy low, sell high. Or in the case of real estate, buy low, refinance, and keep it forever is the game of the game because of the tax advantages. And we'll talk a little about that. But tell you a little bit about my story. With me, been real estate investing for over 16 years now. Knowledgeable in flipping, buy and hold, the BRRRR strategy, where you buy, renovate, rent it out, refinance it, then you repeat. Apartment buildings, private lending, all those things that kind of come together into it. Property management, done that for a stint for my properties. And how to lead a team of diverse people, whereas that right now I have a lead generation person who's virtual. I have a acquisition manager who's boots on the ground in my market, 14 hours away from me in Panama City, Florida. And then also have a VA that operates as my executive assistant that manages the day-to-day pieces of the business while I'm still active duty Air Force, still work my day job full time. Been doing that for over 16 years now. And yeah, and so I've had to step into the leadership role of my company, which is all centered around buying distressed assets, real estate assets, working with motivated sellers, people that have challenges in life, whether a loved one passed away, they're in a divorce, they tired, a tired landlord, they had to evict tenants, don't have the money to turn over the place. Whether it's somebody lost a job, has to move real fast, or they found a new job and just have to leave the area real fast, and they don't want to go through the traditional buying and selling process. And if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Today is a great time to be starting as a real estate investor, because the best time to buy a house was 20 years ago or today. That's it. Real estate is continuing to going up. It's cyclical. It goes up, it goes down. I think we're on the verge of a reset coming up soon, but that's okay, because there are going to be creative ways where you can still buy real estate, cash flow, get the tax advantages, and still build generational wealth. But it all comes down to the knowledge. For me, I've done a little bit over 40 deals now, completely from fix and flips, buying my personal residence as foreclosures, renovating them, keeping them as rentals. Done a couple wholesales when we get deals that don't fit our buy box, and and our first apartment building that we bought back in 2020, 18 unit in Panama City, Florida. That we're in the process of going full cycle with it, going through the refinance right now at the time of this video, and we have 42 units under contract. Going to Montgomery, Alabama tomorrow to walk those units. I think we're gonna pass on the 24 units, but keep the 18. There's two apartment complexes that comprise the 42. So you guys can do this. This is definitely possible. On that deal, we partnered up with one of my coaching students, that found a deal. You came into my coaching program in January, did a fix and flip, started networking with brokers. Now, next thing you know, he's got 42 units under contract, and we're putting a joint venture deal together. So it's truly possible to get going and traction with real estate investing. My backstory: I didn't come from a wealthy background. Just grew up in the South, Lower Alabama. When I graduated from college, I didn't have a strong financial background. I was an electrical engineer, so I took a few business classes, just the microeconomics, macroeconomics, and that was really it. Didn't take any finance, didn't take any accounting, things like that. But I'm a true proponent of you need those type of foundational classes if you're going to be in business, if you're going to have to be trying to be an entrepreneur. You need to know about finance, you need to know about accounting, you need to know about taxes, all those things. But I had to learn those things by myself outside of college. And so, that was the whole reason why I wrote my book that came out this year, Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategies, What They Forgot to Teach You in School. It's because they don't teach you this stuff on how, think about it, everybody in the world needs shelter, needs to live in a house. But guess what? You go to school for 12 years and they don't once teach you about how to buy a house. How's that? A fundamental, one of your fundamental needs, and they don't even teach you how to go and do that smartly. And, of all the other stuff that they teach us about chemistry and the periodic table and this stuff that you'll never use the rest of your life, but they won't tell you the basics that you need about how to buy a house, how interest rates work, how does the stock market work, how does real estate work, all that type of things. Whereas that, I think it's on, I'm not going to say it's on purpose, but it's not. Some schools are starting to change, but a lot aren't. For me, I came from a humble background and just got it out of books, seminars, networking with other investors, other entrepreneurs that are hungry and looking to better their lives and build generational wealth. And that's what it's all about. It's all about building generational wealth. The Bible says a wise man is one that leaves an inheritance for his kids' kids. And that's truly where we're at, and what I'm looking to do is to leave an inheritance for my grandkids. And that's all the decisions that I make. But there's a lot of different options out there. That was the real reason why I chose real estate. It was like, I can buy distressed assets. It's made a lot of millionaires over time. I can have somebody to come in, pay my mortgage for me, pay my debt down, and I'm going to be in a position where I have the appreciation on the back end when the value goes up over time. But I will say, and I have a whole nother video that talks about how to get started in real estate. So check that one out if you're interested in kind of seeing some of the principles and steps that you need to get started in real estate. But there are some challenges, with real estate in general. You do need some money, starting capital, depending on your strategy. Sometimes you need more than less. Like wholesaling, you can get in fairly cheap. But it comes down to time versus money. Whereas that if you don't have a lot of money, then you're going to have to take a lot of time. If you got a lot of money, you may not have to spend a lot of time. You can buy thousands of postcards and mail out to people. You don't have to go around just knock on doors, or go riding around for vacant houses and trying to find those. You can spend money on marketing. You can hire somebody to run Facebook ads for you. You can run Google pay-per-click ads. So you have a wealth of, or you can hire a virtual assistant that can send text messaging out for you or do cold calling for you. So you have a lot of options when you have money. But if you don't, you still can be successful if you don't have a lot of money. You just leverage your time. Find vacant houses. You go to the courthouse and pull free data with different distress lists that you can use to send one-off postcards, letters to, or you can call, get a list, get the phone number, and call. So it's all up to you on how you want to go about approaching that, just based off the resources that you have. I always say, you have to be able to look at both sides of the coin. Either the glass can be half full or can be half empty. It's all about your perspective. So starting capital, that's not necessarily a challenge that you should get caught up on and let that stop you. At the end of the day, there's ways to go. You can raise private money. You can partner with other people with money. I partner with my coaching students, and or you can raise promissory notes. I raise money from family and friends starting off, and now I have strangers that give me money that want to invest in my company after they see the product that we do and the deals that we've done over the years. Time is critical. You're not gonna get any more time back. You have to take action now, because you're not getting any younger. Next thing you know, 5-10 years are going to be gone by, and you're going to be like, oh, I should have bought some real estate. I should have got started. I should have started investing in myself. I should have went and chased my dream and did what I want to do. Because time is not going to wait for any of us. And I always go back to the, Steve Jobs with he died one of the richest men in the world, but he had monetary wealth, but he didn't have time wealth. He didn't have health. He didn't force where he was at with his health. He couldn't buy his health, and so that's the thing that we don't know. The time, life is short. You just see a lot of people come to a tragic end, and they weren't expecting it. And so you got to take advantage of the time that you have today to prepare yourself. You should be working on your business or your side hustle or your dreams or whatever it is at least 1 or 2 hours a day. If you're going to work for somebody else for 8 hours, you got to at least spend 1 or 2 hours of the day focused on what it is that you want to build and what your dream is. Because the thing is, as we're going into a potential recession, that there you're going to see a lot of employers start cutting jobs because they're not going to be making as much profit. And the first thing they're going to be looking to shave and cut loose is people, because that's one of the most expensive costs on the books. And so you don't want to be in that position where you give an employer the opportunity to affect your livelihood, where all your income is coming from one source. That's not a good place to be. And so that's what I love about real estate, that it can allow you to get back your time, and it gives you additional income to kind of prevent that from happening when you're in a situation where you're being fired or laid off. Location. Some markets out here are more expensive than others. Austin, LA, New York, Boston, Seattle, San Francisco. Some of the hot markets that are super expensive right now. If you're living in those markets and you're getting started, you may not be able to, come up with a down payment or to buy, because the average house over there is $600,000-700,000. So that's why I focus on the Southeast. We did our first flip in Alexandria, Virginia. We paid like $220,000 to purchase that foreclosure from Bank of America, and we learned a heck of a lot. It was like a $75,000 renovation budget that we ended up spending on that one. But after that, we did a next flip in Birmingham. I drove down 10 hours, put a team together, but we got a property under contract for $55,000. So 25% of the purchase price of our first flip. Went there, bought a house, $55,000, put like 40 in it, and was able to sell it for $160. And so that's the thing, where is that location matters, because the real estate costs are going to be different, the cost of labor is going to be different, and the returns are going to be different, and just based off the different areas that you're able to invest. But now with technology, that challenge, you can get past it. You can build a team, you can travel out, meet people, and have boots on the ground and do it. I operate my primary market, Panama City, for 14 hours away. It's 12 hours away, depending on where you're at in Alabama, where we're buying apartments in Huntsville, Birmingham, Mobile, and Montgomery. So you can definitely do it. And that goes into my last point for its challenges, that you got to build a team. You got to get good at being a leader. You got to understand, get your knowledge, and that way you can lead a team, whether it's, having an acquisition manager, boots on the ground, somebody that's underwriting, finding deals, doing the acquisitions, they're working the sellers, they're working with brokers. You got somebody that's working with investor relations, the team that's raising money if you're doing apartments, or you're leading your contractor team. You got to have great contractors that can do the work, that can execute the business plan, as well as property managers as well too. Whereas that you now are coming in to orchestrate all this. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to know everything about, how to be a property manager, and how to, swing a hammer, and how to install floors and paint. But you need to know a little bit about how to, price it out, how to work with contractors, and how to motivate and incentivize people in order to help you be successful and help your team be successful. So those are some of the challenges, but I gave you guys some of the hacks on how to actually go over and circumvent those challenges and turn them into opportunities, which I'm a true believer in, that there's always opportunities with every challenge. My reasons for investing in real estate, I think number one is the passive income, being able to bring in the monthly cash flow from the deals that allows you to eventually get your time back. For me, it's like, okay, how can I build up passive income? Some people may want $5,000, $10,000 passive income a month. Okay, if you can get $500 a house and you want to get $5,000 a month coming in, you got to get 10 houses. And so, it's kind of simple math when it comes down to it. All real estate is just simple math. It's just figuring out the equation, figuring out the answer with the numbers. But passive income. Now, if you're able to bring in $5,000 a month, from your rental property, then you don't have to work. That's $5,000 you don't have to go out and work for. So now you're buying time back that you can spend with family, friends, travel, give back to a nonprofit, volunteer, whatever you want to do with your time. You now have that opportunity just because you have money coming in passively that you don't have to work for. And you have to, the thing that we have to figure out, whether you buy a business, you run your own business, you invest, you got to figure out a way to make money in your sleep. You got to be able to figure out a way that you can create money passively. You can invest your money, whereas that now your money is working hard, so you don't have to work hard. And so that whole effect, the younger you start investing, put money back, put it into investments, you're getting a return, the faster that you're going to get closer and closer to where you don't have to work for money. I think the second one is just the cash flow that you get from the real estate investing is a good thing, but then also appreciation. Over time, house prices go up, but they also go down, but it's cyclical. Over time, if you buy a house in 1950 compared to today, it's going to be higher. If you compare it to a house in 1970, that house today is still a lot higher. If you look at a house to purchase in 19, I think my parents bought their house for like $25,000 back in '92. And so, now I think we sold that house back in 2020 for, I think, 75,000. So in a real rural area, but the house, essentially, we tripled in price over a little bit under 30 years. So that's the thing with real estate. It's going to go up, continue to go up. Why? Because of inflation. Every year. The Fed said they're not trying to wipe out inflation. They're just trying to keep inflation around 2%. So that means you're losing 10% of your buying power every 10 years. Think about it. Well, no, you losing 10 years, you losing 20% of your buying power every 10 years. So, over 30 years, that's 60%. So, yeah, if you think about it, looking at that example, boom. You bought something for $25,000 in the early 90s, and then, almost 30 years later, it's tripled. And for the buying, the cost of that good, because money is worthless. They're printing more money. Now, if it causes inflation, that's why we're going to have a recession. They had to raise rates to cool the market down, to stop activity to happen, in return to lower inflation. And so with that inflation, cost of goods go up because it costs more money to buy the same stuff. So it's no different here. But the thing with real estate, you want to buy assets that go up in value, because in a high inflation environment, your real estate goes up. It's going to take more of those same dollars to buy that same property. Why? Because the dollar is worthless. So it takes more of those same dollars to buy your property. So that's why real estate is a great hedge to inflation. That's why you see Wall Street, all these hedge funds that have been buying real estate the last few years, because the writing was on the wall with all the quantitative easing, with the Federal Reserve buying all these mortgages and just pouring all the stimulus money in during the pandemic. It was just a matter of time that they knew inflation was coming. And so that's why you see a lot of people have been buying real estate in order to get that cash on cash return for the money, in order to just park their wealth. And so that's where we are right now with that. Real estate is being a hedge against inflation, being inflation proof as an asset class, versus your money just sitting in the bank. And over time, over 10 years, you're going to lose, at least right now, inflation is over 8%, for just 1 year. But the Fed wants to try to keep it at 2%. But you're still losing money over time. That's why it's important to get into investing, and why I'm in real estate investing. Tax advantages, for it's going through when you're able to write off money each month, each year, with your depreciation for your asset. You take your purchase price, subtract out the value of the land, then you divide that by 27.5, and boom, now you have a depreciation that you can offset the rental income coming to that property that the IRS lets you do. They don't let you do that. And you're actually writing off and depreciating, bringing down in value an asset that in real life is actually going up in value. And so real estate is one of the opportunities that allow you to do that. One of the big tax advantages on the commercial real estate side, when you look at multifamily, you're able to do cost segregation studies, and you're able to pull forward a lot of that depreciation that's phased out over those 27 and a half years. You're able to pull that forward, a lot of it, to the first year, and which is called bonus depreciation. And with that, it allows you just to be able to write off more loss up front for the deal. Like our 18 unit, we had to put about $210,000 down, but we did a cost segregation study on the 18 unit, and our first year loss, passive loss for the IRS, we were able to wipe out $175,000 in income the first year. And if you don't use all that, it rolls over to the next year. So it's truly some tax advantages with investing in real estate. Diversification. You don't want to have all your money in the stock market. The stock market just dropped like 20% the last 4 or 5 months. So if you had all your money completely exposed in the stock market, then you're gonna be hurting. Whereas if you had 20%, 30% in real estate, you're holding strong, you're getting passive income coming in, and you're gonna be fine. And you can ride out any storm, because guess what? As people stop buying houses, they got to live somewhere, and rents are going to be going up or holding steady. They're already at astronomical highs right now for the last 2 years with how much rent growth we got. But people are going to still need somewhere to stay. So you're going to have a great hedge against that as well too. And then just with being diversified with your portfolio, it's just going to help you be able to weather the storm and be able to get to your ultimate goal when you start talking about retirement. And I think the last thing, just talking about the advantages with real estate, it allows you to build wealth. The equity that you build up in the properties, you can refinance, pull out that capital tax-free, buy other assets that are cash flowing. And then eventually over time, 5-10 years, you keep up with your maintenance, rents go up, you can refinance again, take that money out tax-free, go buy another asset that you can go buy apartment building, and now you can do another, cost segregation, pull that depreciation forward a few years and write that off, get the cash flow that's coming in for the apartment building, and just continue to go over and over again. It's truly like Monopoly, and that's the name of the game. And you can build wealth, generational wealth that you can pass down to your family, to your kids and grandkids. And whereas that you're not trading your time for money, you can free you up to go build other businesses that you're interested in. Why? Because you're able to build your asset, build your portfolio, hand it off to a property manager to manage the properties the day in, day out, issues that are happening, and you just get the check. And and build it into a lifestyle business. And so being able to build wealth is one of the great tools that you have with real estate investing. If you're interested in the video, if you're interested in more content, definitely drop down any questions that you have in the comment box. I would like to hear from you guys. I love to get feedback and hear kind of new investors. Let me know if you're a new investor and any other topics that you may have questions about, just to kind of share that with you, and and just being able to help you guys get going on your real estate journey with getting started investing. And make sure if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Try to keep you guys informed, especially with the deals that we're doing, sharing what's going on in my business, with some of my coaching students as well too, some of their successes, but then also just kind of dropping stuff, at least twice a week, sharing content to kind of help you all get going on your real estate investing journey, because you got to get going and take action now, because time's not waiting for any of us, and there's no better time to get started. And also for my gift, check down in the notes section that you can get a copy of my book for free that I wrote this year, Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategies, What If You Got to Teach in School. You can get it at the link down below, socialproofwealth.com/free, and download your free copy of the book. And I will see you on the next video.